Greetings, my fellow life forms. A while back, I set up this Exoterra terrarium for one of my friends. And while the moss and a lot of the plants are doing great, this Petunia, the one right here, was kind of overtaking everything. And it did not seem like it was the happiest plant. Now what I wanted to do is start fresh from the bottom area. The background, or walls, if you will, were doing great. The moss was thriving, the creeping plants were creeping, and there was even a strawberry begonia that I nestled within this piece of driftwood. I started by removing the Petunia. I then removed the substrate little by little, and was very careful not to damage any roots of the creeping fig. This specific creeping fig was a variegated creeping fig, which you might know is my favorite type of creeping fig, aside from the oak leaf creeping fig, which is also present in this terrarium, right there. After carefully removing some of the soil, I remove some of the plants that weren't doing so well. I then add some fresh soil. This is my classic ABG mix, or Atlanta Head Botanical Gardens mix. It is usually comprised of 1 part Coco coir, 1 part potting soil, 1 part orchid bark, 1 part sand, 1 part sphagnum moss, and some leaf litter. A lot of the times I will get a pre-made ABG mix from Critter's Jungle, which is great because it contains some cuttlefish bone, which is amazing for isopods as well as springtails, most of the cleanup crew essentially. I pat down the substrate to make sure everything is secure, and add this little red rock as a type of hardscape within the bottom of the terrarium. And then I add the moss. I wanted the entirety of this forest floor to be carpeted in nice lush green moss. I also added this parlor palm, which do amazing in terrarium settings. I then add some more moss as well as some cuttings of the oak leaf creeping fig.
Ooh, a life form! Did you know that this video was made for life forms? If you want to keep seeing videos about life forms, hit buttons, hit any button. Buttons.
Most of the moss I'm using here is string moss and hypnum moss. Hypnum moss due to its carpeting effect, and string moss to add a little bit of texture to the whole situation. And this is what the terrarium is looking like now. The strawberry begonia is really thriving. Pincushion moss is also thriving, which I find it does best when it's on a background, not directly in the soil. And the variegated ficus pumila in the background is doing amazingly. I also added this mini Boston fern behind the rock. The goal is to have it sort of canopy over the rock and provide some more texture. This creeping fig was going crazy, and pretty soon we'll climb all the way to the top of the terrarium. Moss is spreading very nicely, and everything is growing as planned. I added some leaf litter to contribute to the bioactivity of the terrarium.
Also, it occurs to me